Are you tired, Habs fans? Are you absolutely, unequivocally fed up with the revolving door at second-line center, a position that feels more cursed than blessed for our beloved Montreal Canadiens? For seasons, we've yearned, we've hoped, we've debated who would finally step into that crucial role and anchor the offense. And just when a glimmer of stability appeared on the horizon, a cruel twist of fate, a familiar echo of past heartbreaks, threatens to plunge us back into uncertainty. But what if I told you there's a bold, decisive move on the table right now, a trade proposal that could not only fill that gaping void, but also send a clear message that the Canadiens are serious about contending? The need for a true second-line center in Montreal isn't just a talking point, it's a foundational crack in the team's aspirations. It's the missing piece of a puzzle that, when complete, could unlock the full potential of this exciting young roster. For too long, the Canadiens have struggled to find a consistent, reliable presence behind their top pivot, a player who can drive play, create scoring chances, and provide crucial depth. This isn't merely about statistics, it's about the very rhythm and flow of the team's attack, the ability to roll out two dangerous lines that keep opponents on their heels. Without that anchor, the offensive burden often falls disproportionately on a select few, making the team predictable and easier to defend. The expectation, the hope, the very foundation of the Canadiens' centered depth heading into this offseason rested squarely on the shoulders of Kirby Dach. He was the chosen one, the reclamation project, the big-bodied, skilled forward poised to finally solidify that second-line role. But as the hockey gods often remind us, the best-laid plans of mice and men often go awry. Dach, a player whose talent is undeniable but whose career has been tragically marred by injuries, finds himself once again in a precarious position. The latest update, courtesy of Maxime Truman of Don Les Gaulisses, casts a long shadow over the start of the season. 5 months after his most recent knee surgery, and about 40 days before the start of training camp, Kirby Dach is still not recovered and ready to play. Let that sink in for a moment. 40 days until camp, and a cornerstone of your future is still not cleared for action. Truman didn't mince words, adding, "Let's just say that the chances of Dach starting the season at the same time as everyone else's 2 months are still pretty slim," which is enough to worry those hoping to see the Canadiens make the playoffs in 2026. Slim chances. Worry. These aren't just words. They're a gut punch to a fan base desperate for a return to relevance. Dach's history of injuries is a legitimate concern, and while his potential remains tantalizing, the team simply cannot afford to gamble their immediate future on an if. With only 22 points in 57 games last season and entering the final year of his 4-year, $13.45 million deal, the urgency to find a reliable alternative has never been more acute. The Canadiens need a solution, and they need it now. Enter the Anaheim Ducks, a team in a different phase of its rebuild, and a proposed trade idea from Heavy.com that could be the answer to Montreal's prayers. The target? Ryan Strome. Imagine a world where the Canadiens finally have a seasoned, productive center who can step in immediately and provide that much-needed offensive punch. Strome, a veteran of over 700 NHL games, brings a wealth of experience and a proven track record of consistent production. Last season, he quietly put up 10 goals and 31 assists for a respectable 41 points in all 82 games for the Ducks. He's not flashy, he's not a superstar, but he's a reliable two-way center who makes smart plays, can contribute on the power play, and provides a calming presence in the middle of the ice. He's exactly the kind of steady hand the Canadiens need to complement their younger, more dynamic wingers. Strome has 2 years remaining on his 5-year, $25 million deal, a manageable contract that aligns perfectly with Montreal's competitive window and provides cost certainty for the next 2 seasons. This isn't a rental, it's a commitment to a player who can truly make a difference. But of course, in the high-stakes world of NHL trades, you don't get something for nothing. The proposed package going back to Anaheim is substantial, reflecting the value Strome brings and the Canadiens' desperate need. The Ducks would acquire a promising young NHL center in Owen Beck, a veteran NHL defenseman in Matheson, and a 2026 second-round pick. Let's break down the assets. Owen Beck, at just 21 years old, is on the cusp of becoming a full-time NHL player. He's a smart, responsible forward who fits the mold of the Ducks' burgeoning young roster and could easily slot into a bottom-six role, providing energy and defensive acumen. For a rebuilding team like Anaheim, acquiring a young player with Beck's potential is a significant win, aligning perfectly with their long-term vision. Then there's Mike Matheson, the veteran defenseman whose name has been circulating in trade talks for some time. Matheson is entering the final year of his 8-year, $39 million deal, making him an attractive piece for a team looking to bolster its blue line or acquire a valuable trade chip for the deadline. Last season, he contributed 6 goals and 25 assists for 31 points in 80 games, showcasing his offensive capabilities from the back end. For the Ducks, Matheson could provide immediate stability and veteran leadership on their defense, and if they choose, he could be flipped at the trade deadline for even more future assets. For the Canadiens, moving Matheson also makes significant sense from a roster management perspective. As Canadiens insider Eric Engels pointed out on the Sick podcast, between those 3 guys, right, you have Mike Matheson, Jaden Struble, and Shakaj. There's a good chance that between now and this time next year, one of those guys is not here. With young defensemen like Logan Mailloux already traded this offseason and others rising through the system, the Canadiens have a surplus of talent on the blue line. Moving Matheson not only helps balance the salary cap for Strome's acquisition, but also creates space for the next wave of defensive prospects. And finally, the 2026 second-round pick. Montreal holds 2 of them, giving them the flexibility to part with one without completely depleting their draft capital. This pick adds further sweetener to the deal for Anaheim, providing another valuable asset for their rebuild. So, here we stand, Habs Nation, at a critical juncture. The need for a second-line center is undeniable, exacerbated by the concerning news surrounding Kirby Dach. The proposed acquisition of Ryan Strome offers a tangible, immediate solution, a veteran presence who can stabilize the lineup and provide consistent offense. The cost is significant, a promising young forward, a veteran defenseman, and a valuable draft pick. But the potential reward of finally filling that gaping hole could be immense. Is this the bold stroke Kent Hughes needs to make? Is this the trade that finally unlocks the Canadiens' true potential and propels them towards playoff contention in 2026? The future of the franchise, the very trajectory of this rebuild, hinges on strategic moves like this. What do you think, Habs Nation? Is Ryan Strome the missing piece we've been searching for, or is the price too steep? Drop your thoughts, your passionate opinions, and your wildest trade ideas in the comments below. Let's get a real conversation going about the future of our beloved Canadiens. And if you're as passionate about the Habs as we are, and you want to stay on top of every exclusive insight and breaking news, then hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more.